on our podcast. We like to welcome everybody to on the Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. And you see that if anybody got the memo about it being Hawaiian Shirt Friday, Court Marshall has gotten it, even to the extent, Vic, and let me see, I have you in there? Yeah, I do have you up there. So I got all three of us on the screen right now. All three of us with Hawaiian shirts on.
Done.
You know,
it's great when you get the memo and
yeah,
you bring it. You bring it.
Hold it. Wait a minute. Okay, now we're good. Watch out now. This is how we do it.
Right.
Court Marshall is with the ELPISE Alliance, the founder, creator. What do you do with it? What's your position?
I am the founder and chief of operations. I have an executive director, and we are moving forward with helping veterans develop their way forward from whatever experience they had in the military. One of our main efforts right now is outfitting veterans with a watch, monitoring their sleep, giving them daytime missions to improve their nighttime sleep and overall mental health.
Now, we laugh and joke, but there's a lot of seriousness to this. Look over your right shoulder. You see what we have up
That's
there?
Right. Stop soldier suicide.
Where did we get that?
That was one of our items that we had at our golf event. Yeah, Stop
Right.
Soldier Suicide. We were able to raise money to support Stop Soldier Suicide and the mission that they have, Project Black Box in particular. And when we were done with that golf event, we were just under a $10,000 total donation at the end of the day for that organization.
Well, and here's the thing, WFNC had a golf team that played in it. I don't think we won it. We did okay.
The legend grows. I mean, as time passes, you may have won it by next year. Who knows?
Well, but the neat thing was, you were having the drawing for the different items that you have.
Yeah.
And then these flags, you had a bunch of them. And my team and I were sitting there, and then all of a sudden you said, "Is Gilbert Bay still here?"
Yeah.
I said, "What's going on here? We didn't win." And he said, "Would you come up?" And I came up front, and the court had one of those flags. He said, "We want to give this to you in WFNC, and we ask a favor of you.
Yeah.
Will you put it on display in your studio?"
Yes.
And I want you to see I'm a man of my word.
That's right.
And there's several camera angles in here. When we show it, let me see if we can pull up there we go. There you go. And you can see it pretty good up there.
Well, it was a high risk situation, but I put it into God's hands, and I put you on the spot publicly and said, "Will you prominently display this in the studio?"
How simple is that?
How simple was that?
Yeah. So I appreciate that, and I'm glad we were able to help and help raise some money. Of course, we had a lot of fun out there.
Oh yeah.
And the fun is kind of shadowed by the fact of why you started all of this and the fact that you lost your son.
Right.
Give people some background because I've known you for a little bit and we've shared, we've prayed together and hugged and talked about this.
Right.
This is a serious thing for our community, and 22 was a significant number. During the Gulf Wars and everything, with so many suicides.
22 today. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about your son in that scenario for those who don't know.
Yeah. Staff Sergeant Cameron Courtney Marshall. When we roll into next month, so next month is going to be Suicide Prevention Month, and it's clear that suicide is an emotional response right out of the gate, and we really have to start thinking about analytical solutions. What can we measure? And so when I realized what was happening in Cameron's life, I get asked the question a lot. Did you see the warning signs? And unfortunately for me as a dad, as well as a 38-year military veteran serving and learning what to look for, I have to answer, yeah, I did see the warning signs with him. And what was really compelling for me was to realize that there were gaps in our care for veterans. Veterans learn what to say to stay in the fight. And so this is one of those opportunities where we're learning from what Cameron's life was and what his year prior to his passing was. And that's where my mission starts, is to go as far upstream, away from suicide prevention and into a space called suicide protection. What are the mindsets and behaviors that start to kick off that domino effect of someone building a repeated 1,000 cuts of ideation? That's the lesson that I was able to take and carry forward and pay it forward from Cameron's life. I don't like to talk about the circumstances about how he died. I'd rather tell you about how he lived. And he was always looking out for his fellow military members. even in high school, he was a hero to many and had saved someone's life in a car accident. And there's always these little stories that we get to tell in order to keep them alive in our hearts.
Well, I get asked that a lot myself, and there are a lot of us who seem to be very successful, and the one person that comes to mind is Robin Williams. Of course, he had an illness, and he ended his life, but in the course of just living your day-to-day life, you made a good point. Veterans are very good at hiding.
Yeah.
Especially when you talk about Vietnam-era veterans, even, the World War II veterans. We don't have many of them left. But no one liked to talk about what they saw or what happened to them. And, I've gone through counseling.
Right.
And you don't have to be a warrior or go to war to develop PTSD. You can see dramatic things in your life. And I've seen some dramatic things as a reporter covering our soldiers. And so those items stick with you. I had an incident in Ranger School that I'm still dealing with.
Right.
And that was 40 years ago.
Right.
The hard part for many of our veterans who are seeking benefits is the fact that sometimes your cries fall on deaf ears, or though it seems. And for many of the veterans, it seems like you are fighting for what was promised to you in terms of being covered and being taken care of. And so it is a war after you finish the war and you come back and there's another fight that you go through. And you make a good point, as a father, as a veteran yourself, you can see the warning signs, but you don't know to what extent or how severe a person is either ready to act on it or is it something that they're okay with.
Right.
And you went through that whole process.
Yeah, and I would say that the storyline that you just shared, there are so many threads in what you just shared, and I'll start off by saying signal. What's the signal? Sometimes veterans have a faint signal. How do we pick up on what those signals are? And I recognize that through better sleep, our brain reduces the amount of brain fog that we have, and we're able to send a better signal, but also receive a better signal. Also, the part about post-traumatic stress, what I like to talk about is the D. Often we just say PTSD, and what I'm looking for is to not necessarily have to be tied to the D. You can have post-traumatic stress, but until you understand what really is in the D itself, the disorder, then you're kind of pushing the thoughts away. And that's something I ask veterans often what are the thoughts that you're pushing away? And what's really powerful about that is that they start to talk about the thoughts. And I was like, well, hang on a second. I didn't offer to unpack them with you. I just want you to know what those thoughts are that you've pushed away. Because the case that you talked about, your own personal story, your own N1, you have that thought. And it's been pushed away. It's pushed down deep. And it doesn't go anywhere.
No, and
the trauma stays with you.
And it can be brought back up here.
Unexpectedly,
that's right.
And then the worst possible time.
If you're just joining right now, Court Marshall is with the ELPISE Alliance, and we're going to talk about the second part of this. We're going to take a little break here. You've got a program that starts tomorrow that will help veterans sleep better. You're going to give you a chance to describe that and how people can take part of it. It's a virtual program, is my understanding.
Yeah, tomorrow will be a kickoff 30-minute meeting, a Zoom call to be able to orient those that have RSVP'd and still can in order to join our program for 8 weeks.
Stand by for a second. We'll give great detail about that coming up in just a few seconds. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. Right now we have Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
Today will be mostly cloudy with thunderstorms by the afternoon and evening and a high of 87. Scattered storms will continue tonight with a low of 71. Saturday will be mostly cloudy with spotty storms and a high of 83. And Sunday will be partly cloudy with a stray shower and a high of 89. Rain chances will steadily decrease through the weekend, then we dry out next week with highs soaring into the upper 90s. That's your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, I've been flipped everybody up on the screen. Vic, you were up there for a second. Court Marshall, you were back up there in a second. And here I am, I've got the information. 74 degrees in Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and also at Fort Bragg. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC.
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
for nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Visit Valley Volkswagen for special offers on multiple models. Through August 31st, qualifying customers can finance a 2026 Atlas with 0.9% APR for 48 months or get a $3,500 customer bonus. Finance a 2026 Tiguan with 1.9% APR for 60 months if you qualify, or get a $2,500 customer bonus on select trims. For offer details, call 1-800-264-3212 or visit ValleyAutoWorldVW.com.
Let's go to table 7, where Jim and Linda have a beautiful lie near the window. The weather is a perfect 70 degrees with no wind. They're contemplating what to pull out for this first round. Looks like Linda's going for the fish. Do you think that's a smart move? I think it's a delicious move, but you can't argue with Jim's decision to go with the steak.
After your round, join us in the Lane Tree Restaurant for a meal or skip the golf and get right to the main course. Thursday is steak night. Menu and tea times at lanetree.com.
Who says the weekend has to start on a Friday? Enjoy every day like it's the weekend at Louis Sports Pub, located at 2417 Robeson Street. Catch all your favorite sports on the big screens. Enjoy daily drink specials. Test your skills at pool and cornhole. Choose your vibe between the two bars. Don't miss open mic Wednesdays and live bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The drinks are cold, the games are always on, and the good times never stop at Louis Sports Pub. So the next time your crew asks where you're going, say you're headed to Louis.
Bass Air Conditioning, the name you trust for heating and air.
If your HVAC or plumbing isn't doing its job, why DIY when you've got a guy? For a limited time, get $75 off repair or service, plus great rebates and low monthly payment options on new HVAC systems and water heaters. We also have free estimates, second opinions, and fast installs too. Visit us online at bass-air.com.
Bass Air Conditioning, we're your comfort guys.
Good morning, Fayetteville with Gilbert Bays on WFNC News Talk 640 AM and now on 103.5 HD2 WFNC.
News Talk 640 WFNC. You know we got to kill that music, Vic.
Done.
If not, court-martial will not be heard in the 195 countries that we're in.
Yeah.
Signature. How are you, sir?
I'm getting it done.
Yeah. You know, some of the best conversations, Vic, and we always say this always happens when the mic's off.
Yeah.
And so that's just the way that goes.
We still got them. The stories are still there.
Yeah. They're there. We'll keep those in our mind. Let's talk about what's going on tomorrow, because that's the main reason. I mean, you came in early. That's good. We started talking about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got this program that will help veterans sleep better, and sleep better means a lot of stuff the veterans court-martial. Take it away.
Yeah, we'll treetop it for you. So our goal is to identify what works best for each individual veteran. We call it an N1. You're one of one. We outfit veterans with a Garmin watch, and then we set them on a crawl, walk, run phase of 8 weeks. We teach them about the basic fundamentals to get back to better sleep. Much of what we start with in the crawl phase has to do with just good sleep hygiene. Think about when you're either taking care of a youngster or grandchildren or the like. There are certain rules as that in that spot that you just know. You don't give them sugar. You don't keep them up. You don't wind them up. Well, we lost our way as adults. We think that we can just power through that, and there's some sleep hygiene that has to start the process. Our goal is to give veterans daytime missions, and then they look at what happened to their sleep, their architecture, what happens objectively. So we truly measure it. And then we ask them questions so that's subjective. So now we have objective and subjective measures. We have what we feel, what we say, what we do, and then you can't hide from the metric that shows up on whether or not what you did is making a difference. We have lots of examples of where someone will say, I can't eat this, or when I do this or watch a particular show, it affects their sleep outcomes. So you can imagine we crawl, walk, run. So it gets more difficult, more intense. We're not going to be able to cover all of the 8 weeks in the soundbite that we have here, but I will tell you that our goal is to help veterans get, and our participants in general, to a 25% REM, rapid eye movement. And what I learned is that in rapid eye movement, only 3 muscles are at work. Your eyes are moving left to right, your heart is pumping, and your diaphragm is pulling in oxygen. Everything else is paralyzed. It's your body's reset. And the part that's happening with the REM goes back to what you and I were talking about, where you have a traumatic event, a post-traumatic event has occurred, and you filed it away. Rapid eye movement is the natural way by which you can restore and reframe the left and right side of your brain. And there's the science behind it that it's EMDR, which is a form of rapid eye movement, and then there's ART, which is another form of rapid eye movement. But if you don't have a brain that's cleared from brain fog, it doesn't have the same impact. So usually about the 4th or 5th week, veterans are starting to realize they want to take personal agency. They want to go out and try either EMDR or ART again. Some of them have tried it and it didn't work. And we're finding that when you've got the 4 to 5 weeks of good sleep, restorative sleep, and you're getting the momentum and the brain fog is clearing, they have a better chance of taking that memory that is activated in the frontal lobe, and they can store it and file it better.
But part of the issue for a lot of folks is just the fact that these cell phones, you can't put them down, and you have them with you even when you get ready to go to bed.
Right.
And the next thing you know, you think you're going to go to sleep, and for an hour you're strolling.
Right.
And there's an hour gone.
Yeah.
And then there's the blue light from them in the room as well. So there's all these factors that go into not creating a good night's sleep. I was telling Vic, I bring Vic up on screen with me as well, that everybody's heard the saying 3 hots in a cot.
Yeah.
And I've modified that.
Yeah.
What we need are 2 hots and 2 cots. So eat less and sleep more, and that's going to be better for you. Now, you're not a doctor, but you look like you played one on TV. Am I onto something there?
Yeah. There's several things that you just said. So the blue light is critical. The doom scrolling when you're supposed to be winding down at the end of the day. Our circadian rhythm is easily disrupted by that blue light. And when you think about blue light and the spectrum of light in general, the best time to start that circadian rhythm to reset, from what I have found and done myself, my own experiments, is you greet and meet the morning sun. The UVA, UVB light goes in, and it sends a signal. In about 13 hours, I want you to start creating melatonin naturally.
Now, so does that mean, do you get up and watch the sunrise?
That is an excellent opportunity. The moment you hit the ground running, and for the profession that you have, you don't get to see the sun. You're coming out when the sun's there. So your circadian rhythm is always on its back foot because you don't have that immediate morning sun. There's a whole bunch of other things that you can do to simulate that through light therapy as well. But ultimately, that trigger mechanism, and so let's get back to the blue light if we can really punctuate that, is that when you view blue light in the evening, it's sending a signal to your brain that it's the height of the day. And it's on your phone. It's on your computer screen. It's in these LED lights as the full light spectrum. So your brain is trying to work against that belief that it thinks it's noon or the optimal sun. The midday sun has the widest array of spectrum of light. And so that's why, when you get that doom scroll, all you're doing is delaying the natural production of your melatonin. And melatonin is not a sleep hormone. It's a sleep regulation hormone. It regulates the rules of how your sleep architecture performs. Right, so there's serotonin, and I'm learning that there's over 100 or at least over 80 hormones in the body. If you look at the endocrine system, it's a smaller number, but we're finding through science and the extension of it that there's other hormones. We really talk about the 8 that are critical during that sleep cycle.
You've got the program that's going to be happening tomorrow. It's a virtual program. How can people get involved? Where do they need to go? What do they need to do?
They can go to our webpage. It's the ELPISEalliance.org, and there is an events page and an RSVP tied to the event tomorrow.
Now, are there limited amounts, and does it cost anything?
There's always a limit. It doesn't cost anything right now. We're a nonprofit organization, so we rely on the membership dues to help pay for our programs, as well as the graciousness of donors to help our program. We spend around $10,000 per 8 weeks for as many as 25 veterans. And so we're set up to put this one in motion tomorrow, and we still have spots available for veterans to join us.
And if they're selected to be involved with the program, they get the watch and all that stuff, or how's that work?
That's correct. We have the watch available to them as part of our donor program. Generally speaking, if you can make it through the 8 weeks, some participants want to turn it in and say, thanks, I've learned what I've learned. Some participants say, I want to continue on and help you collect signal. There's an important piece that I wanted to share with you about what we're doing with the signal on a longer period of time from a study standpoint. So I want to make sure I can get that in as well. But there is something called the Race to Life. And I am part of an organization that is looking to stem the tide for military and teenage suicide on a global scale. And that's no small feat, obviously. And it's part of the nonprofit X Prize, the foundation, the X Prize Foundation.
Well, your family around here, the shirt, the Hawaiian shirt that Court has on, he had made for us as well. I didn't wear mine today. He made this, got the ELPISE Alliance on the side and everything. And, Friday's Hawaiian Shirt Friday. Clearly, you didn't get the memo, Lindsay, and so that's okay. That's all right. Vic got the memo. I'm looking out there.
Looking good.
I see Brandon Price is in the lobby. He didn't get the memo. Come on, what kind of operation are we running here?
I think we need daily reminders.
That's okay. We'll work on it.
Okay.
All right, but look, Court, we appreciate you coming in. I'm going to kick you out. This is a good part. I kick people off. It's time for me to kick you out. Give you the boot. You got to go. But we will schedule. We will give you a chance to come back and talk about the long-term part of the program.
Yeah, absolutely.
And make that happen for you. It's always good to see you, my friend.
All
right.
Deal. Thank
You're
you.
listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. Right now we've got local news from CBS 17.
Good morning.